Parker of Higher Living Journey coming to you with today's thought. And today I'm pretty fired up and I'm probably going to stumble over my words because I'm feeling really passionate tonight. And I want to share something with you guys that I think is very, very important. It's something that affects every single person that you know, that I know. It affects everyone, especially if you live in the United States. And I want to get it out there because you know how when you know something that could change people's lives, you feel like you have to tell everybody. And so tonight, that's how I'm feeling. Like I need to get out there and tell everybody. And what you do with this information is totally up to you, but I want you to have it so you at least know that you have some resources and that you can make some decisions for your family. So I posted earlier today about this topic, but I'm going to go into a little more depth tonight because Facebook has algorithms and videos get more watches than posts do. And this is that important that I need to really bring it home to everyone tonight. So everyone eats every day, right? Like that is something that we all do. And in the United States, nearly everyone who eats every day is exposed to a chemical that is quite literally making everybody sick. It really is that extreme. And I know I sound like doomsday and I'm all about solutions, but it's that extreme. So let me explain what you're being exposed to and what you can do about it. There is a chemical called glyphosate. The name that most people know it by is Roundup. Glyphosate is the active ingredient in the herbicide and pesticide Roundup, okay? And most people know what GMOs are, genetically modified organisms. It is food that has been genetically modified, typically using some DNA from a bacteria, so that you can spray Roundup all over it and it doesn't kill it. And that's what genetically modified food is, okay? And most things in our world, if they aren't certified organic, almost everything has something genetically modified in it. Now, why is that so important? Well, because Roundup, this glyphosate, has some pretty awful effects on the human body. But let me give you a little bit of history because it's important that you know all of this, you really understand what this means. So Roundup, glyphosate, I'm interchanging the two words just so people know what I'm talking about, has 3 patents on it. It's owned by, well, now Bayer, used to be Monsanto. And there are 3 patents on it. And the very first one, back in the 1960s, was for what's the word? I just lost the word in my head. It works like Drano. It takes a descaler. That's the word I'm looking for. It chelates minerals, which means it binds to minerals and it moves them, okay? And so if you have like hard water and things build up, think about that. Well, in industrial machinery, they needed something to clean mineral buildup off of things. And that is what they originally used glyphosate for. That is what its first patent was for. Well, then down the road a little bit, they found out that it kills weeds. And so they patented it as a weed killer. But it's important that you understand how it kills weeds. It kills weeds by attacking the immune system of the plant and by attacking the microbes in the soil. Okay, and then the plant dies because it doesn't have everything that it needs. And they said, this is safe for humans to be exposed to because humans don't have this particular pathway. And if you want to look it up, it's called the Shikimadi pathway. Dr. Stephanie Seneff talks about this a lot. But humans don't have that metabolic pathway. However, the probiotics in our gut, and we've all heard about how good those are for you, right? They have that pathway. And so when we eat food that has glyphosate on it, and keep in mind that 75% of all packaged food on the market has glyphosate residue in it. When we eat that, it kills the good bacteria in our gut. And we all know, like if you have antibiotics, that you have to repopulate your gut, right? Well, the 3rd patent for glyphosate just happens to be for an antibiotic. Yep, it kills life, literally, antibiotic. That's what that means, right? It completely kills off your gut microbiome. Why do you care? Well, because that's about 70% of your immune system, 70% of your serotonin, which is the chemical that helps you sleep and helps keep you from being depressed in your brain. Yeah, that's made in your gut by those probiotics. So if you know somebody who has diabetes, if you know somebody who has Hashimoto's, if you know somebody who has any kind of chronic health condition, ADHD, autism, like go on down the list, you can bet that person's probably been exposed to something that has hurt their gut and has thrown their body out of balance. This is a really, really big deal. And here's why it's an even bigger deal. Even if you're eating organic food, you are still being exposed to glyphosate. In the Midwest, 75% of the rain samples have glyphosate in them. That means it's in our air. We're breathing it, and then it gets in our rainwater, and we're drinking it, and it stays in the ground. It doesn't come out of the ground. It stays in the ground. And when the plant is in that soil, it can get in the plant. You can't wash it off. Like, are you starting to, understand this? Okay, so let's take it a step further. It's a chelator, right? We talked about that in the beginning. It's a descaler. It holds on to minerals. Well, what does that mean? It means that it holds on to the minerals in the soil. So the plant can't take those minerals up into the plant. And then when we eat it, it's not as nutrient dense. And then our diet ends up lacking in crucial minerals. And what does that do? That makes us sick. Like zinc, really, really important for your immune system and your immune function, and glyphosate binds that. Calcium, we all know we need calcium, right? Yep, glyphosate binds that too. So now your food isn't as nutritious. You eat that food that has glyphosate in it, and now you can't absorb what minerals were in it in the first place. It's killing off your gut microbiome, and I want you to imagine in your intestines, you have what's called villi, and it's so that you have more surface space to absorb your nutrients, okay? Well, what happens when your good gut bacteria die is that those villi start to die, and they separate, and they get spaces in between them that turns into something that's known as leaky gut. What does that mean? That means that proteins from your food can get into your blood supply. Toxins that your body would normally flush out can get into your blood supply. It's one of the reasons why so many people are reacting to gluten, is because it leaks into the body, and our immune system is designed to attack a whole protein. So our immune system will attack that gluten, and suddenly we have a gluten sensitivity. But it's not because we have celiacs, which is an actual real condition. It's because we have leaky gut, because we've been eating glyphosate for years and years now, and now nobody can eat wheat. But let's take that even a step further. I know, look, I'm getting all passionate, but it gets worse. So not only are genetically modified crops being sprayed with this stuff, but they use it as a desiccant. What's a desiccant? Well, when they harvest things, the quicker it dries out, the quicker that they can harvest it. So wheat, oats, garbanzo beans, those are the top 3 things that have a ton of glyphosate on them. So if you're not buying organic, you're eating glyphosate on those things. And there are other things, but those are the top ones. They did a test where they tested what foods were really high in glyphosate. You know what the highest one was? Cheerios. What do so many parents give their toddlers as a first finger food? Yeah, it gets scarier. So now our kids are having their microbiome destroyed when they're little. And look at, guys, 54% of American children have a chronic health condition. That's more than 1 in 2. This is important stuff to know. Okay, so I've given you the information, I've given you the background, and there's a ton of information out there. And I know some of you who are watching this probably already know a lot of this, but what can you do about it? All right, well, for a long time, there wasn't a lot you could do about it except eat organic. That is super important, eat organic. Are you still being exposed to glyphosate if you eat organic? Yes, you are, for sure. There's no doubt about it. It's in the air, it's in the water, it's in the ground, it's in every single vaccine that is given to our children. Every single one of them, guys. The testing is out there. it's getting worse and worse. So what can you do? Well, do your best to avoid it in the first place. But if you can't avoid it, if you don't have the money for organic, or you don't have it, it's not near you, or you can't help that you live in the Midwest and you're just breathing it in, or you're walking your dog and they have sprayed the park with Roundup because they're trying to kill the weeds, like, think about either spraying the side of the highway with this stuff. It is the most highly used herbicide out there on the market. I'm trying to remember the number. It was like 300 million quarts of it, or some gigantic number of how much is being used per year. So detoxing yourself is going to be key. But one of the things that glyphosate does is it takes the place of something called glycine in your amino acid chains. And so it actually like embeds itself in your body. So you have to have a way to get it out of the cells and then eliminate it, right? And humic and fulvic acid are things that have been shown to pull things out of cells or push them into them, you know, whatever you need to happen, and be able to flush it. And so there's one product on the market that has that in it, and that a lot of people are promoting and that people are using to help get the glyphosate out of their body. But what do you do about your poor villi? Remember this? They're supposed to look like that, and now they're all wilted and you've got holes in your intestines. What do you do about that? Well, there was this doctor who found out when he gave pigs this fractionated part of wheat germ oil, it was made from wheat germ oil, that the villi in their gut would regrow, and it would tighten up the junctures where you've had this leaky gut. And it's been patented. It's called PreBioSure, but it's in one product. That's it. There is one product on the market that will get the glyphosate out of you in a 6-week period. It took 74% of the glyphosate out of people. It will help to heal those villi so that your gut starts to heal. In that same 6-week period, it decreased gut permeability by 35%. And added bonus, nobody expected from this product, is it brings down C-reactive protein by 75% in that 6-week period. Well, what does that mean to you? C-reactive protein is a measure of inflammation. It's the measure that cardiologists use to test how much inflammation is in your heart. It's a big deal. You do not want to have high C-reactive protein levels. This stuff brings it down by 75%. I'm telling you, you guys, I didn't know I had inflammation until I didn't have inflammation anymore. It was gone and I felt entirely different. And that's very exciting, right? One product, guys, that's it. And so I get on here and I get all excited, and you're gonna go, you sell it, don't you? Well, yeah, I do, because it just happened to come into the company that I was already aligned with. And I know that I'm going to have team members who will probably share this video. And so I'm not going to give you that information on this video, because I want them to be able to share it, because it is so important that people know this information, right? So yes, I sell it. Yes, I can get you the studies. I can get you the information. It is the only product out of more than a dozen that the Detox Project has certified, gold standard certified, that it gets glyphosate out of your body. The only product, you guys. So am I trying to sell you something? No, not really. I'm trying to save your health. And this is the only product we know of on the market. Stephanie Seneff is talking about it, and she's an expert on glyphosate. Jeffrey Smith, who is the creator of the Institute for Responsible Technology, he's behind the movie Genetic Roulette. He's doing a series right now called Healing from GMOs. You know what product he is selling? This one. The experts out there, this is the only thing out there. So if you want that information from me, let me know, put it in the comments, and I will PM it over to you. But I want other people to be able to share this video, and I don't want them to feel like they're competing with me, because it's so important that you know this, that you can do something about it, and that you can help your family, because this thing is changing lives. It's helping kids with autism. It's helping kids with ADHD. It's helping people who have heart problems. It's helping people who have gluten sensitivities and food allergies. It's helping people who have Hashimoto's, and on and on and on and on. So I just wanted you to know about it. If you think this video will be helpful to somebody in your life, please share it. And, that's it for now.